Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another Crypto Maniacs podcast on the glorious Hive blockchain. As always, joined once again by our good friend Taskmaster 4450, sometimes LE, sometimes not. We have. Are you LE today, or are you just
Well,
50?
in the threadcast, I'm LE because it's on Leo, so that should
Did,
be a clue.
did it not let you add O? Was it too long for the characters?
What?
Like your username. Like you couldn't do Taskmaster 4450 Leo.
Oh, I could have, but I didn't have because I set up. This was, remember way back when before where you had to set up a account for each thing you were doing. So I had Leo, I had uh, DP for D porn, I had what was the token? PAL
Pal,
4450
yes, yes,
PAL.
yes, yes.
Um, so what was the other one? I think I made one for STEM Geeks. I think that was STM. No, I just did LE, and you know, it is what it is. So,
Very
by
nice.
the way, anybody listening, we do have a threadcast going. Uh, this is a part of the process that we feel all Hive related live streams should do, and we are doing our part. So, John just in this room, and I guess he's going to throw it in
It's in
Vim.
Vim too. Yeah,
Uh,
I put it in Vim. So
yeah, and I'll throw it out on Twitter too. So anybody who follows me on Twitter, um, it'll be fired in a second here.
there you go. So yeah, this is it's kind of the rebirth. We used to do the CTP chat account, and we'd ask questions, but this is a much more interactive experience. And part of the benefits I think of doing this on the blockchain is that we can engage with each other right now, directly with something like threads. So it's a really cool opportunity for people listening to the live show. Even if you're not, you listen to the recording, add some comments. If you got any questions you want us to bring up next week, we will always go to the threadcast to find the questions each and every Tuesday. But yeah, man, yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot going on, with what I'm doing personally. But how about you, man? How was your weekend? I'm sure, like what you did, each and every weekend, you sell all your crypto, and you get into something new, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. Just sell everything anytime it's red or green, or what do you do? How's your plan?
I didn't. My Bollinger Bands did not give me a sell signal, so I did not sell because Mr. Bollinger, I guess, was on vacation. So
Mister?
we'll have to. Well, there was some. I think it's John Bollinger who invented
Yes.
Bollinger Bands, but no, I actually did buy a little bit of Leo today.
Oh, very nice.
After the AMA, it's like things are really starting to come together on that project, and the live, the production UI will be released hopefully May 1st. That's the target to
Very
move out
nice.
of alpha and have everything integrated and up and running, and the old one discarded, and then Leo ads incorporated, and
Mm,
all that good stuff. So there is a plan, which is a rarity in crypto, quite frankly, other than, well, let's burn tokens or give us their tokens as a use case. And,
mm.
it seems that Leo is taking an approach where, hey, we're developing revenues and we're going to use that revenues to buy the token and distribute the token to the ones who power it up and stake it. And that's how to start producing an ROI
Mm.
and make the token appealing to people instead of just saying, "Well, we'll burn it." And so now, if you have them, then you'll have a better percentage. Well,
Mm.
you know, a higher percentage of zero is still zero, and
Mm.
that's the problem with most of crypto is It's like, well, ultimately you can burn all your tokens, have one token. If there's nothing going on with the project, it's worth nothing. There's no value there. You got to build value.
I mean, we've been trying.
Yeah, I
CTP.
mean
I mean,
that's what you have to do. You have to build the apps, you have to update the apps, you have to market the apps, you have to apply business principles, you have to figure out how to generate revenue and all that stuff and how to get new users, new customers. I mean, it's basic business building 101.
yeah.
What's your USP? Said this in a video. Your unique service proposition, or there's a couple different phrases, but in marketing, it's basically where's your niche? What distinguishes you from everybody else?
Mhm.
And the fact is, in Web3, well, we have a token that doesn't cut it. You need something that has some teeth to get the users in and to keep them,
Mm.
and that's not easy. But Facebook did it, Twitter did it, YouTube did it, Snapchat did it, TikTok did it. I mean, there's a lot of things that did it in the social media realm. It is possible. You just have to break through. And
Mhm.
the nice thing is it can go exponential. As we know, this is the digital world. I mean, to go, I mean, 100,000 users is nothing in the digital world. I mean,
Yeah.
what does Facebook family have? 3.2 billion or something. I mean, it's absurd. So, you know, I mean, 100,000 users is nothing on the internet, and nobody in Web3 is really doing that. I mean, it's just somebody's got to break the code.
Mm. Is there a reason why something has? You think we've talked about this before, but like, is do you think there's a big hang up? Why? Like, okay, I'm not expecting everyone to like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give up Twitter to go to Threads. Like, I don't expect that. But do you think there's a reason why, en masse, people just haven't made the leap? Is it just apps? Like, nothing has attracted enough attention yet?
Are you
You know,
talking in general? You're
in
talking
general, yeah, in
Web3?
general,
Yeah.
not Hive specific, just in general.
Uh, yeah, I think it's what we talked about before. Is the industry was a bunch of douchebags. What, like you said, green candles, Wall Street games. Lambos, FOMO. What's the price doing? And you had the majority of people who were jackasses in crypto, who were just I want to get rich quick, and the only ones building shit were CZ,
Yeah,
Coinbase, the centralized apps. They actually built shit. You hear about all this crap about DeFi, and it's like, okay, well, what the fuck's been done in 3 years? Oh, well, we didn't do anything. It's like, who's building the applications? Who's building the next generation dexes?
yeah.
Um, and I'm not saying that there's not project teams out there not approaching this stuff and that this stuff doesn't take time, but my view is just the proportion of people who were jackasses versus the proportion of people who were actually building stuff and looking long term and had the entrepreneurial mindset, had the business building mindset, had the idea of, okay, I'm going to approach this like a company, like any other business.
Right.
They were few and far between. Um, now I think, and this, it's funny. I wrote an article about this where Operation Choke Point might be the best thing that ever happened to crypto, because now it forces everybody to get away from, well, when will all this money float in and moon the price of my coin or my token?
Right.
Well, the banks are shutting that off. So now, how do you get value? Well, you get value from the network effect. How do you get the network effect? Build something that attracts users online, and then we can build the auxiliary stuff around that, the dexes and all that other stuff. um, but it to me, it comes back to the same thing, and I don't think you can get around that. Is what is being built. And
Hmm.
I look at a lot of stuff on Hive, and it's like, okay, well, that may sound real good, but you've done nothing in 9 months or a year. It's like, you know, what are you doing? And you can talk about Splinterlands, and every time you turn around, they got a new token, they got a new this, they got a new that. But to their credit, they're building, they're expanding. You may disagree with the path they're taking, and that's fine. But you can't state that you won't accuse them of sitting still.
Right.
And that's what we try to get in terms of guests on here. And hopefully, there are people who are making headway. And you got to give time. I mean, it takes time to develop this stuff. I mean, code is not easy. It takes time to build applications. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we can't expect it all to happen in 5 or 6 weeks. But I mean, John, you and I have been talking about this stuff for 6 years now, going
Yeah.
on 6 years, and it's like in 6 years' time, what's really been accomplished. And you look at Hive, we accomplished in the 36, 37 months that we've been in existence, we accomplished a hell of a lot more than what was before that. So when you look at block
They had
trade,
all the money too.
they had all the money. And you look at what block trades gets done, you look at what Howoo's been doing, you look at what some of the projects now are doing, Leo Finance being one of them. um, we're starting to see some forward momentum. The Speak Network guys and what they're building there. Disregard Fiat, who I'm trying to get to come back on, who
Mhm.
is really integral in the base platform that's being built there, or the base architecture. This is all stuff that takes time. And disregard the times he's been on. um, he's not building something at the app level. He's building infrastructure. But that is stuff that guys like, they call me Dan and Starkers, and their team can take and do something and end up building apps on. And that's what has to take place. So, I kind of went in a big circle to answer your question, but it comes back to that same thing of who is building this stuff, as opposed to, like you always say, just give me green candles and I'll be happy.
Mm. It's actually a good segue because I'm checking out the threadcast right here, and we got a couple questions from our amazing viewers. I guess the first one from Cal. Cal stepped up. He's got a question. He wants to know, what are your three favorite things happening on Hive right now? What would you say, bro?
Three. Well, Leo Finance is at the top. Congratulations, Cal. He had a wonderful AMA today. Um, I'm excited about CTPX. I don't know if that, do you call that on Hive, because it's
Mhm.
really not on Hive, but it is. It uses the token. But there's potential there in the CTP family of things. Um, after talking to Bob the Builder, I'm pretty excited about CyberX.
Mhm.
That was a very interesting conversation. So I would have to say, at the app end of things, those three. Non-app end of things, and I'm going here on again, running my mouth, but I love what is happening with Hive Sucre. I mean,
Mhm.
what they're forming there is pretty amazing. So, and then Cuba and Ghana. I mean, those what they're doing is pretty amazing. So, there's some really neat stuff. But at the application end, my focus is CTPX and Leo Finance. That's where I,
Mhm.
I spend most of my time.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm biased, so I'd say CTBX is, but that's the question is not what do you love the most, John, because obviously you're gonna love your stuff. Uh, I'm gonna say for me, Leo Finance is just again, it's this no brainer. I absolutely love it. everything about what they're building there is I'm completely into, and I think it's very powerful in the potential, especially with threads. Um, I guess HBD, and that's not like that's what's got me excited long term. If we can hold it, if we can keep that 20%, to me the HBD, seeing it used as this really awesome not only currency but also that 20% APR is just so attractive for me to focus on. But I'm gonna bring something up that you and I have not spoken about yet, and sneakily, I think this game has got a big niche it can tackle, and I've been enjoying it. It's very passive. It's an idle game on Hive, but I've been enjoying it, and that's TerraCore. Um, Space exploration, even though you're not really doing let's be honest, it's an idle game. It, it's idle games are not meant to like, oh, this is like the biggest strategy ever. And like, like Splinterlands requires a lot of strategy. Not only do you need the cards, but you got to know where to position them, when to attack the whole nine. For TerraCore, I literally set this thing up, and every day, now you're being robbed if you just sit there on your tokens, which is cool, which is really unique. People actually take tokens away from you if you're not paying attention. But I'm stacking these things every day with literally checking the site once or twice a day. And there's obviously more to it. They're building it. This is a brand new project on Hive, but I'm excited for it because I love these kind of projects. The Rising Star, like even Rising Star's got a little complication to it. From all intents and purposes, TerraCore is as straightforward an idle game as it gets. Now, I'm sure they can build upon it. They're gonna, it's gonna grow and everything wonderful. But I've been having a blast with it. I've been doing it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, and that's something I'm excited for. So I'd say Leo, HBD, and TerraCore. That's my three.
Yeah, I seen some people mentioning TerraCore. I haven't looked at it. I know nothing about it, but again, I think if we have to step back a little bit and say what is the potentiality of Hive, I certainly think gaming offers tremendous
For sure.
potential. I think the potential right now is stifled a bit and will be stifled until we get the smart contract platform. If we get a easy to use smart contract platform that rolls out where these game developers can quickly and easily and inexpensively spin up NFTs, and if somebody ties that to maybe kind of like Hive's own open sea type thing,
Right.
uh, we might have we might have a real strong on ramp to the gaming world there because we already know the success of Splinterlands, and that can just be expanded. And not that we don't. I mean, we already have Deluxe, which allows you to create NFTs, and I guess that's what, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what Ragnarok's using. But maybe they're not issuing their NFTs until Honeycomb's running. But either way, there are some options, but I think the smart contract capabilities are really something that is very important for Hive. And
Mhm.
once we get that, that changes a lot of things, and I think allows for these developers to tie a lot of this stuff together. But I think HBD's potential with you is right. Gaming is a huge market, so I think these are things to look at. And because of our no transaction fees, direct transaction fees, I think Hive can really do some damage with DeFi.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I love I just think that those three for me personally is just these kind of ones. It's allowing, it's the post I made yesterday about focusing. Like I don't know about you, Task. You don't really speak about this a lot, but I know me personally over the past 20 years of my life, I have a disease that's called shiny object syndrome. And as soon as I see a shiny object, I'm looking at it. And a lot of people suffer from this disease. It's very hurtful to your productivity. So if you can focus, if you can pick one or two projects that you really, really love on Hive and then go in on those instead of trying to like put your hand everywhere, which is something I've fallen victim to in the past, good things can happen. And that's just not only on Hive. That's a life lesson. I think a business development lesson. Anything. Stop trying to be a jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, I've mentioned this before, I think, on on air here, but I'll mention it again, and in fact, I'll throw a link in the threadcast,
Cool.
and you go and look at the names. Whoops, that's not threadcast. Here we go. You go through the Bloomberg Billionaire Index, and I'll just read some names to you, John.
Hmm.
Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Steve Ballmer, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Francois Betancourt Myers. Of those 10 names, those are the top 10 richest people in the world. You could probably put a name to each of them.
Like a
A
brand
company,
name, the
a
company
company.
they own. Yeah.
Elon Musk. Elon
Well,
Musk.
I mean Tesla, but also
Okay.
Twitter and
Yeah.
SpaceX. I mean, but where
Jeff,
he,
Jeff
yeah,
Bezos, Amazon.
Amazon, yeah,
Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. I
Berkshire,
mean,
mm,
Serge and Brent,
Google,
Google boys.
yeah,
Um,
the Google boys. Yeah.
I've heard about this bullshit with investing of a diversification, and it's like diversification's bullshit. The richest people in the world, and by the way, it's not only top 10. You just scroll down that list, go down into the, you know, 250, 220, and you'll see people, and you may not know their names because they're not as well known as the top 10. But if you dig in, you'll find, well, this person made their money in running a hedge fund. This person made their money, you know, Mark Cuban, and, you know, that people like that. They make their money in a particular area.
Right.
And yes, it's the same thing with this. I mean, you and I have talked about the ICO days when people said, I'm invested in 40 different ICOs. How the hell are you?
Guilty.
Yeah, how the hell could you keep track of 40 different projects? And, you know, it's the same thing on Hive. You know, it's like on the AMA today, because of GLX
Yeah.
hack or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Scaredy Cat was saying, well, maybe I got to take a look at that. Maybe, you know, sometimes it's because of that stuff, the price gets beat down. Could be an opportunity to make some money. And I understand his viewpoint. He's looking at it as a trade. He's saying, okay, can I throw in X number of dollars, buy X number of tokens, and will it go up 3x, 5x, 10x, 20x, and maybe I could really have a nice trade here. But you know, you said at the beginning of this year you decided that you're really honing things down,
Yeah.
and I've been that way for a couple of years. I mean, Leo is my layer two, my number one focus is
Mhm.
Leo, and
Yep.
has been Leo. Um, you know, I'm either gonna sink with that ship and go up in flames, or reach the top of the mountain because it's, you know, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, that's what you have to be willing to do, and to sit there and go after 80 different projects. And, you know, nothing against TerraCore, this could be a great game. I just don't have the time to to dedicate to it. I
Right.
didn't, you know, and I'm not a huge gamer anyway, but like you said, it's an idle game, it's a passive game, so it's a little bit easier. But I didn't get into Rising Star. I'm not into CyberX, even though I bought the LVL token. I'm really not into the game itself because A, I'm not a gamer, but B, I don't have time. So, um, you have to really focus where you're going. And it's like in business, if you try to service every market, or you open up a business and you're trying to go into all these different markets, you're going to fail. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start with one market. And I'm sure it's the same thing with online affiliate marketing and online business and stuff like that. Start somewhere, focus on that, get that stream of income going, then work on something else.
Yeah.
Don't try to do everything at one time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lesson I learned, going on 2 decades ago now. When I ignored the noise and focused on one or two projects, my life improved dramatically. So, we have another question from a CTP member. I like when CTP members take action. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. CTP. Bonnie has a question. Is CTP relaunch coming with more crypto involved? So there there will be an official announcement coming soon, but CTP as a whole, the focus right now going forward for the next little bit is strictly CTPX. That's where we think we have the best opportunity to make an impact, not only to raise awareness for CTP as the token, but the community as well. CTPX is something I'm very familiar with. I'm very comfortable in that environment, and I think I can really help the CTP token, the community, and Hive as a whole if I keep focus on that. So we had planned a relaunch for everything. Now that being said, inside of CTP now, there's a ton of training on crypto. If you go through the training, and yes, it hasn't been updated in a while, but you can see the crypto elements, and we're big on it. We have Start Earning Today, which is our little funnel for CTP that talks basically everything about crypto. So our focus is always bridging the gap between online marketing and the blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we've been doing it for 5 years now, but right now, for the foreseeable future, the focus for us is CTPX because it's the thing we're most bullish on. We think if we focus on that, we can help CTP as a whole, we can help Hive as a whole, and just going back to the conversation we just had 2 minutes ago, it allows us to focus. It allows us to say, okay, really cool things going on, and we've got our hands everywhere. Let's keep focused. So we will be making a bigger announcement about that going forward, but that's just what we're planning right now. So
Yeah, I think every project has to ask, and I don't care what the number is, you know, where is the next fill in the number? Where's the next 1,000 users coming from? 5,000 users, 50,000 users, 100,000 users, whatever it is. Where's that coming from? What are you going to do to get them to your project? Because ultimately, as I've said, that's what gives your token value, is bringing people in who want it, who you captured the network effect. You start increasing your numbers, you increase your users, you make your application or applications more valuable, and your token is a reflection of that. It's a value capture mechanism. So if you want CTP, the token, to be valued, make CTP, the organization, the application, the platform, if you will, the ecosystem, a lot more valuable. And you do that by bringing in people, kicking off the network effect. And I don't care what the hell the number is, if it's 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. Where do they come from? How are we going to get them? What are we going to do to build it, to entice them, to excite them, to attract them, to keep them here, and ultimately to get them buying the token? And that's what ultimately you want. I don't think many people ask themselves that question in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I don't think people chart that stuff in cryptocurrency. We had a nomad soul, and I love Cow to death, but it's like I said to him, I'm finally glad to see somebody putting out fucking numbers. How the hell do you put out shit without numbers? How do you have a project, a business without numbers?
Well, I put numbers out today.
It only took you 5 fucking years to put out some
Oh,
numbers.
please, come on, man. I'm Mr. Transparent. And I'll for everyone that it's on Threads. That's where I go for my news, gossip, and scandal, folks. Like Twitter is great to hear about everyone freaking out about Trump or something like that, but I like my crypto stuff on Threads. But I shared this morning. A couple of numbers for CTPX. So it's been about 5 weeks since we launched. Right now, and I'm going to go directly from admin, I'm looking at lifetime 460,426. That's the page views or explorers.
Explorers. Okay.
Explorers. That's
So
what
460K. So closing in on 500,000.
Yes. We are almost at 800 members, like a sliver away, which is great. The steady growth is there. We're seeing almost a dozen people plus joining a day, which is fantastic. I love it. It's averaging around 13,000, a little bit under 13,000 explores a day right now, which is fantastic. We can't keep explore tokens in the system. So if you guys want to get exposure for your CTP Talk blog posts, hint, hint, your Hive posts, put it in there. I will upvote it with the CTP Talk account, my own account, and a whole bunch of stuff. So free crypto for everyone. Now, again, we want to distribute the token.
Now, are the explorers trending up? Are you finding? Like, you say you're averaging now about 13,000. Was it like 2 weeks ago 10,000, and now?
No, like when you first launch, you have this huge bump.
Well,
right?
yeah, and then you have to crash, and
then people are like, oh, shiny object, and the attention starts going down. So what I'm finding, this is the number that's really attractive to me. I mentioned this before. We're still getting a big chunk percentage of the people that have joined logging in every day. Like it was like 15 to 20%, and it's really stayed that. So 15 to 20% of the people that are joining are still there logging in every day, which is great. This is the metric I'm looking at. I want to see that.
Well, and that stays constant, but the number of users is growing because you said you're closing on 800. So if it's 15% logging in every day at 500 and it's 15% at 800, you're better off at the 800 level. And if you keep that up.
Yep. So those are the numbers I like. The big number, which, and you're going to love this because this is what CTPX, like, we want to give people a great experience. We love it. But what we want to do is the whole purpose of this is to take that CTP token and spread it out. And there's a live counter. You don't even listen to me, literally go inside your members area, your dashboard, and click on affiliate tools. And there's splash page 5. It gives you a live count that you can go and promote this page out to people. And right now, currently 73,563 CTP tokens have been distributed since launch. Mind-blowing. So we are trying to get it out there as much as possible. We're trying to get the token out there, and this is one of our distribution methods. We have others. We have the tipping feature. We got the listeners staking. We got the front end, but to us, this is a great way to get the token into more people's hands. And 73,000 is for me, it's just I love seeing that number. So, yeah.
You can send more to my wallet. I'm not upset about that. I don't think I've been getting much lately. Been a lot of competition.
Yeah. You're crushing it, man. Yes, Nelson. Yes, this is a CTP project, CTPX. Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean that's what you do as a business owner. You track the metrics, and 2 weeks ago we were at 650 people. Now we're at 800 people. Okay, that's growth, and you're probably signing up some people here and there to a Hive account, because I'm sure not all 800 of those people had a Hive account.
Yep.
And these are things that we need to start replicating over and over and over again. Here's a question for you, and this is just my own ignorance with these type of, whatever you call it, exchanges or these type of sites. The content that's on there, and I understand, they're not, the traffic is not high quality. It's plentiful, but it's not high quality.
Mhm.
You get a lot of hits, but it's like, you know, it's not a lot of high quality targeted traffic. How would you say that if I put up 10 Leo finance articles, let's say, or 10 CTP articles, or 10 whatever on there, would you say that's getting a lot of exposure for Leo Finance uh, .io or for CTP or CTP chat or CTP talk? Excuse me. Do you think that is getting a lot of exposure, or I mean, I understand the swapping, and it's like, okay, you view my site, I view your site.
Right.
Essentially, how does this help the website or the page itself?
So it's funny you mention this because this is going back in time. This is the history of these platforms. What we're trying to do is rebrand them as content discovery platforms. We don't want the old term thrown around. But what what it was back then, and this is something I did training on, and I used to consult with people, and people would buy my book and all sorts. I always said you got to know your customer. It's really really important that you know why people are there. People aren't necessarily there to discover amazing stuff. Even though that's what we're trending to do, it's not there yet. We need to have 10,000 people exploring to get to targeted traffic, people actually the stumble upon model, the views model, the I want to be here because I'm discovering amazing stuff. That's really really our goal. But in the time being, the biggest thing was knowing your customer. So what is that person there for? Are they there to discover your content? No, they're trying to either win some CTP tokens or they're trying to get people to their site, advertise accordingly. So what I used to do is I used to do little videos and little lead capture pages and say, guys, I know you're surfing. I know you're having a blast here. Give me 1 second. Fill out this form. Let me show you some really cool tips and tricks on how you can get better results doing this. Stop, and I would used to stop surfing and try to grab people's attention because I knew that it was just this kind of like repeated process of clicking and clicking and clicking. So how do we attract that person? They're all fantastic people. They all got dreams and aspirations. They all want to build something online. So how do we get their attention? And that's what I used to do. I used to basically try to tailor make my ads and the stuff I would promote in these programs and really speak to the viewer. And that's what helped me. So let's just say I don't know you and hey man, how do I get better results? I want to get more people reading my blog. How do I do that? This is what I would do. I'd create a little page, splash page, squeeze page, lead capture page, whatever they're called these days. I don't know. Quick loading page. I would do a little 10-second clip, a little video, a little 10-second, hey guys, I got some awesome content I want you to check out. But this is what's really cool. I'll show you how to earn some free crypto just by reading my blogs. Fill out this form for more information. Like a way to generate interest like that so that they might join your mailing list. They might subscribe to your account. But then you could see them come in and you could put little, you could gamify it a bit. You could put little like, white, what are they like little, what are they called? Little hidden gems where you say, hey, if you do this and this, I'll give you that. So you can say in the video something like, hey, if you make a comment and use the keyword that I'm giving you here, task is awesome. Put that in a comment. I'll send you a tip or something like that. Like you can engage with people that way to really get them reading your stuff, paying attention to your stuff, subscribing to your stuff. That's what I would do if I was brand new saying I wanted to get people into my content using CTPX.
So basically, it's still a lead generation tool.
Yeah, but if you're not trying to build your mailing list, you're just trying to get people to your content. It's leads, but not in the traditional sense of the word, right? It's literally like you saying, I want to give you value. The value you're giving me is you're giving me your attention. I'll give you value for your attention with upvotes, with tips, with like you know, I don't know what you could have fun with it. You could totally cater to the viewer because you know what they're there for. So feed that to them. That'd be what I would do.
Yeah, it sounds like views is more in the stumble upon mode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because this is the win with views, which is kind of hard with CTPX because CTPX it's like you got to get the user to add to the database.
Yeah.
With views, the database was there. Just tap
Yeah.
into Hive, right? So the content was forever and ever. Even if you went back to the Genesis block, but not even the Genesis block, 7 days of content in every niche on Hive. There's thousands of stuff. You could never see the same thing again. You might, but you could always see something new. The problem with this model is that it's content generated from the user. The user has to add to it to get traffic to it. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 10,000 with views, you have 10,000 pages right off the bat because that's, or whatever the number is, 9,500, 15,000, whatever number of posts there are a week.
Yeah.
With this, I might put up 5 pages. Well, I added 5 pages, but if there's only 800 people, and the average person puts up 1 page, well, you're talking about still less than 1,000 pages.
Exactly. So that's where, and this is the solution for everything it seems on Hive is more users. You get more users, and that's why going back to what with Bonnie's question about what's the focus going forward. The focus on CTBX, because if we focus on one thing as the funnel to bring people in, that's all we're promoting to the outside. More people are coming in, they're joining CTBX, they're getting content in. The trickle down effect is that they join CTP Talk. To join CTP Talk, they need a Hive account. People come to Hive. So it allows us to just focus on that. And instead of trying to be the jack of all trades, which gets us into trouble, gets me into trouble because I have these stupid ideas everywhere. And I'm like, let's try this, let's try that, no, let's focus. So that's what we're going to be doing. And Eliana and I have been talking about it all this week too. So, yeah, there you go. Buy our stuff. That's the marketing pitch, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what you typically see. Sign up for give me your email and sign up for a free bonus so I can spam you to get you to buy my stuff.
I can spam you legally. Buy my stuff. So
yeah, I just it's looking through things with crypto eyes, it's just always interesting to try to figure out how models are changing because one thing crypto can do is crypto can be used to change models and incentivize behavior.
Yeah.
There is that added layer that you don't have in a lot of the traditional sectors or markets that we look at. Like, this is like with Twitter. I mean, I'm a big Elon Musk fan. I don't really give a shit what he does with Twitter because I wouldn't make any money off of it. But the problem I think he has with Twitter is he's not going to be able to get away from the business model that he has. He's trying to change it, but he's still trying to change it within the Web 2 architecture and the Web 2 structure. And that's fine. That's what he has to do. That's what he knows. But that's where I think we have something different with Hive, where we can incentivize in a totally and completely different way.
Yeah.
It was like the same thing with noise cash. And you were talking about noise cash way back when. And I'm like, somebody still got to show up to the table with the money.
Yeah.
You
don't have to do that with Hive. That's the best thing, right?
No, with Hive, you do it now. With Hive, you have to create the value for your token. I mean,
Yeah.
but you can create the token, you can distribute it like you're doing. Uh, you're getting CTP distributed, but the token value still has to be created.
Yeah.
That's the difference. But it gives you an opportunity for people to come in and say, hey, I can get myself some of this token. I can buy it at a cheap price. I can engage. I can get active. I can help build. I can plant my seeds here, and I can end up riding this wave if this is a successful project. I mean, that's what I've done with Leo.
Yeah, this brings up something I'm always curious about, and it really hit me when we had Elmer from Like to on a couple weeks back. Like Elmer didn't go looking like, because a lot of these people, and I'm not trying to generalize, but the majority of the people that come onto Hive and have this idea of creating a community or creating a token, they don't come in with bank. And I'm not talking coming in with millions of dollars to dump into Hive or anything like that, but they literally come in and they don't really invest anything into it other than the money required to start the token, to pay the 3 Hive to create community. And what you see is you have all of these little communities that are screaming, going, why aren't we getting love? Why aren't we getting love? This is where the putting skin in the game comes in. And I'll remember, Nathan Mars, where are you, dude? I miss you, man. But Nathan always famously said, put some skin in the game. Like when Nathan joined, I remember Nathan coming on with 100,000 Hive, which back then Hive was like $3 or $4 each. So that's like $500,000, $300,000, whatever worth of crypto he put into Hive to build up his brand. Elmer, same thing. He put in the bank. And do you feel that, this is a question, for you, do you feel that this is a way people can really get away from that victim of woe is me, and the community's not supporting me because I'm not, like, and I'm not saying you got to come in with $100,000, but put some skin in the game, support your community. And that, I think, is a much better game plan than sitting there, not saying looking for handouts, but looking for the support of the community. Support yourself, basically.
Well, if I can deviate from my norm and be blunt here,
Oh, yes, please.
um, money talks. Let's cut through the bullshit. I mean, money talks, and I don't care where you are. I don't care what realm you're involved in. Money talks, and they call me Dan. Can throw together a project. Now, when I say throw together, it costs him a lot of money to get it developed, but
Right.
he creates Ragnarok, and gives it to the community. So it's really not even his, but he's funded. But let's make no mistake about it. He can do a lot of the things that he does because of the money he has.
Right.
Block trades, yes, he's a core developer. Yes, he runs a huge team. Yes, we're very blessed to have him. But he's got a lot of money. Just look at his accounts. He's done very well. Um, so if you are going to set up a community and you're not putting any skin in the game, and what's one thing we always say, John, if you want success here, it's dedication.
Mm.
And if you have an account with 20 Hive in it, let's be honest, nobody's going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Just not.
Yep.
I don't give a shit if you're an award-winning author. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's going to take you seriously. And I'm not. I'm with you. It's not like you have to go and buy $100,000 worth of Hive, but you damn well better be doing something to work your way. And you don't even have to do it at high level. I mean, you can talk about CTP level. You can talk about it at the Leo Finance level. Whatever level you want to get some attention,
Yeah.
you better have a wallet that says, I'm worthy of attention. Now, it may take you a while to get there. It may take a while to build. And as you're building, people will be watching. So if you are getting the CTP token, if you're getting some of these other tokens, you're selling them, buying CTP because that's what you want. You're engaged on CTP talk, you're curating, and your account's growing. Somebody like Eliana is going to notice that. Somebody like John G. Olson is going to notice that. Somebody like Blaine's going to notice that because people watch. And John may not notice you for the first 10 times he sees you. He may
Right.
just not even, I mean, he may even upvote your shit and not even know. But sooner or later, he's going to look and say, who is this person? What is this person doing? Oh, they have 1,000 CTP. Okay. Then the next time he looks, it's like, oh, they got 1,500 CTP. Wow.
Mm.
Wow, they're not selling their tea. Wow, they bought. John goes to Hive Engine, looks and sees. Oh wow, look! There's that person. They bought 150 CTP. It's not going to break the bank, but it's like okay, they're adding. They are engaged,
Mm.
and that's what it comes down to. So yes, if we had a community where somebody showed up with 150 or $200,000 and they started a community, bet your ass they'd get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Whatever, however they decided to do it. Um, we one alpha. One alpha was around a while. He wasn't really, I mean, how did one alpha become known?
Bought a whole lot of Leo.
He started cashing his, he started cashing in some of his Ethereum that he had
Yeah.
like, I don't know, probably 200,000 Ethereum or whatever that he got for 50 cents a piece. Fine. Here's a guy who came in and started buying a whole crap load of Leo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sure you saw the post about Cal and the $1 million. Did you see his? I wrote. He put up a thread about it. He said he put this out. I have a real life situation that's probably going to close by the end of the month. I'm thinking, should I take $1 million and put it in HBD? $1 million.
One Alpha said that, or Cal?
Cal. 1 million in HBD going to net them $16,666 a month. Which then he said, I'll put in the BHBD USDC liquidity pool.
Yeah.
And he does that. You don't think he's gonna? I mean, we don't know what was it? Crypto Pony, Crypto Puppy. I don't even remember the name of the one who has the $1 million or $1.2 million.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We don't know who that person is, but guess what? They're on people's radar.
Yep.
That's what gets attention. And somebody asked me today, how do you write a post to get attention of the whales or orcas? You don't write a post to get the attention of whales or the orcas because you're not going to get their attention. You get the attention of the whales or the orcas by engaging and showing consistency, showing dedication, showing commitment. And then maybe one of the whales or orcas will stumble across you. And that's what it's going to take.
Dude, I mean, one of the guys I always revert to when I think of my journey, and he's not on the blockchain anymore, but it was Exile on Steam. And, I'm sitting here watching this guy's account and he had like 250,000. You got to remember, back then, it wasn't 40 cents a token. It was $3 or $4 or $5 a token. So that was worth a lot. But what was really cool is that he would make these amazing videos and get you all pumped up each and every day. He would tell you what's going on. And I loved it. And I would always watch his videos and I would engage with him all the time. It probably took me a month before he ever responded. Like that's what it took. But I wasn't like, oh, how come he's not noticing me? Like, no, it's not his job to notice me. It's not anyone's job. It's your job. If you are a content creator, if you want to generate stuff here on Hive, it's your job to stick out like a sore thumb. And that's what happens. It's literally, there's no secret formula. It's showing up and engaging with people, and that's what happened. I remember making comments, dude. We'll even bring this even closer to home. I remember making comments on your post. You wouldn't respond to me. I didn't go, Taskmaster. He just wants, he's so not nice to me. No, I just kept posting. Like,
I still don't respond to you.
Exactly. So, I mean, don't take it personal, folks.
I mean, that wasn't just part of the process. That was just you.
Yeah, there you go.
But at least you comment on Blaine stuff and he responds to you meanly. So no, I go back to, and I don't even know how accurate this was, but one guy said this in a sales training I was in one time, and he said, "Listen, studies show," and he had whoever conducted the studies. It takes 7 times contacting a
Yep.
prospect before they even remember your company's name.
Yep.
7 times.
Yep.
And it's like, you just think about the amount of work you have to do in a territory and the amount of marketing and contacting to get them to even remember who you are, not to buy your stuff, not to come in for a sales presentation, but just to, oh yeah, I've heard of your company. Now, who the hell are you? I mean, then it takes probably another 7 times before they remember your damn name.
Can I read this to you? This is exactly what you're talking about.
Sure.
I put little things beside my computer all the time. Sometimes I laminate it if it's super special. This is actually a little quote that I printed out probably 15 years ago, and I'll read it, and you tell me if this is exactly what you're talking about. 48% of all salesmen make one call and stop. 25% of all salesmen make 2 calls and stop. 15% of salesmen make 3 calls and stop. 12% keep going back and back and back and back and back, and they make 80% of all sales. We conquer by continuing. And that's the you can see, like, I used to have it, it's taped now, but it used to be pinned on my wall. I've had this for probably 15 years, and it's beside my desk, so it reminds me just what you said, 7 times before someone even notices you. But most people don't even make it to 7. They give up at 2 or 3 times. We conquer by continuing. That's the secret.
Yeah, I mean, if you just think, I did a lot of door knocking, and you just think, you walk into, I don't know, let's say a medical office, and that person, the receptionist at the medical office, how many people does that person see in a day? And you walk in, and you walk up, and you shuffle in between patients, and you try to get some information or introduce yourself or whatever. By the next patient, you're out of her memory.
Oh yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't even remember you. And mostly she's just handing you, here's the card of the office manager, or the whoever, the administrator. They're just trying to get rid of you. And that's that's the way the situation is. So I mean, when people, and it's so true, because I had this happen again to me on Hive. There was somebody, I saw their comment, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I saw what they wrote a little later, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that guy's a dickhead. I don't like him. But it didn't register because I didn't remember his freaking username. I mean, and
Yeah.
we don't even have a face to go with a lot of these. I mean, it's just a little thumbnail image and a
Right.
username.
Yeah.
Unless it's rather unique, it just doesn't stand out. Um, it's that's just the way it is. So if you think, I mean, here's somebody that I don't even like, and I can't even remember their damn name. You think I'm going to remember you? And maybe it's just me. I'm old. But that's just the way it is. So, and you and I have talked about this, John. I mean, you always remember Exile's name. I never can remember his damn name. And at least
Mm.
he's somebody that we both, I mean, we watch his video every day for years, and I can't remember his name half the time. It's the same thing with us.
Yeah.
If we stopped showing up within 6 months, maybe once in a while somebody would say,
What
"Remember
happened to them?
that
Yeah.
Bassmaster? Remember that guy John Go?
Yeah.
Remember those two used to have a show?" And after 2 years, it's like, man, it was like we were never here.
Yeah. It's
And
top of mind, man, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
so I mean, you have to take the approach here long term. Make yourself stand out. You don't make yourself stand out by being a dipshit. You know, a guy like Doze, you
Mm.
see him on every one of my posts because he did one of the placards that I use.
Mhm.
Um, but he's done some wonderful work. Um, with HBD and Hive and images and all kinds of good stuff, and very talented. And every time I see him, I remember him because I see his work, and he's persistent. But you know what? Even though he's at the end of every one of my posts, I forgot I didn't. I don't read all the way down to the bottom of my post. I didn't remember it till he started doing this stuff again, and that's really where you have to find your niche. And that's one way he could stand out. And now
Mm.
he's gotten onto this create memes on Leo Threads, and he's creating all these cool memes. And I just upvote them because it's like, okay, that's some cool shit.
Yeah.
And there's a guy I know.
Yep.
He doesn't comment on my stuff really. He doesn't, comment on my posts. I don't know if he reads my posts, but it doesn't matter. There's all of a sudden some engagement.
Crazy how it works, man. Good show, man. I'm fired up. I'm going to go create some content and engage with people tonight.
Leo Threads is good for that.
I know it is. That's why I'm going to
Did
go
we
over to
miss any?
Threads.
Okay, I responded to Lisa. You gave the link to George. Bonnie, you answered.
Yep.
I'll upvote Bonnie. By the way, if you post something in Leo Threads, I'll upvote you, and probably John will upvote you.
If I see your content when I'm exploring in CTPX.
No, I'm talking on the Threadcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a way to. I mean, hell, we even upvoted Cal.
Yeah, I know. Why am I upvoting Cal? Oh, I don't know, because I just do. I think it's.
Yeah, why did we upvote Cal?
I know. I can.
Because there's no downvote button.
No, yeah. There you go.
I don't think. Maybe there is. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could go. I could go look at the comment on. Well, the old UI's down, but we could go through the old comment and actually downvote the comment. So yeah, maybe
Yes, you can do it on Peak D or something, right?
Yeah, we'll go downvote Cal's comments.
Perfect. Love it.
So yeah. So there's another incentive each show. We're going to put up the Threadcast. Go in the Threadcast. We'll hit you up with some upvotes. That'll get you a little bit of Leo. If you're positive about Leo, it's a good way to enhance your wallet a little. If you're not, go to Hive Engine, dump the Leo, and buy yourself some CTP.
Absolutely. There you go. Guys, have a fantastic, wonderful day. And we will see you on Thursday. Toodles.